Team Crossbody, The Struggle. Hey-oh, and welcome back to The Struggle, and gobble gobble anybody who's celebrating Thanksgiving. I decided to show my thanks to my viewers by torturing them with some injustice this week. I know it's not necessarily a favorite amongst most people who play NRS games, but I fucking love Injustice 2. It's my favorite NRS game. It still is my favorite NRS game. And look here, man, I'm not gonna sit here and fake the funk, alright, man? This game is dead. This is almost like, what, like a 6-year-old game? This must be a 6-year-old game by now. So most of the people I'm gonna run into are bad to about my level, but to even the odds, I didn't go to practice. I'm just gonna hop right in online and whatever happens, happens. And I'm not even going to bother with the match analysis, okay, man? There's no point of match analysis and giving out combos and giving out strategies this week. I might do it in some areas, just talking about the game in general, but don't expect any of that here. So welcome to my Injustice Zone. Maybe it's right, maybe it ain't, but it's what I do. If you get that reference, let's start. So I play a good portion of the cast, but most of all I play Harley Quinn, who was my main in the first game as well. I think she's one of the funnest characters NRS ever invented. I guess this is the part when I tell you what her archetype is, but the one thing Injustice kinda does away with for the most part is archetypes. You know, a lot of characters will like just have your standard fireball, they have like a mix-up tool, and I went and called Harley is definitely zone focused. I think she's zone focused with a lot of good mix-up tools. I don't think she was referred to as strong in this version of the game though. Like D-tier, I always thought she was a slept-on character, but she does good damage. She does absolutely good damage once you get going with her. Her mix-ups are fine. She has a command grab that I think if you ES gives a good amount of hit advantage for... I'm talking about strategies already. Oh well, we'll just play it by ear, and how this video turns out is how it turns out. Anyway, TLDR is Harley is a strong character in my opinion. She could just sit on meter all day and use it for defensive actions and still get her damage out well without even pumping any meter out. So, underrated character, blah blah blah. I'm fighting this Red Hood. I don't have anything to say about Red Hood. He's a boring ass character. I don't like the guy. He can't do shit with his balls. He's crappy. He's a real God. I can't say that. I'm a zone guy, and that's the thing. I guess if you were to apply one archetype that a lot of people think Injustice has, is a surplus of zoners. And I guess that's true, but like I said, everybody has fireballs in this game, but like there's so much anti-projectile shit in this game that I never understood why anybody was complaining about zoning as a whole in Injustice 2. And I guess I get it. Nobody wants to sit there and see two assholes throwing beams at each other from across the map. That's fine. That's a fair argument. But I thought that Injustice stand out as a fighting game. Every fighting game, yeah, we get it. You can rush in and smash your hitbox on somebody's head, and then all of a sudden, oh look, that's so much skill. Put this dude in a hollow 50-50, and that's so much skill. But like I said a while ago, zoning takes so much more effort than rushdown, man. This episode might just be the anti-rushdown episode, because rushdown is nothing but I'll take my head and I'll just hit you low or I'll hit you high with it, or I'll just force my plus frames down your throat, and all of a sudden I'm full of so much skill. But zoning, you have to take an asshole and keep him in a particular spot that you need him to be for the duration of the match. And I never understood why that got shat on. Now I get why it got shat on for casuals. Oh, I don't want to hit buttons, or I want to hit buttons. This guy is forcing me to play defense most of the time. I get that part, but as far as competitive people go, that's not an excuse, man. You can adapt. Injustice has so much anti-fireball stuff baked into the character's kit. And not only that, the system mechanics there are so many anti-fireball system mechanics. And then we talk about fighting games nowadays, And fighting games have so many limiters on so many characters' abilities. This character can't have a fireball unless they power up. This character can't have a command grab unless they power up. This character can have hollow 50-50s though. They can have hollow 50-50s all day. They can have fat ass neutral skips as long as they don't throw a fireball. If they throw a fireball, then they're broken and the game is boring and it's the worst game ever made. But if they rush everybody down, oh my God, I'm ranting. This episode's gonna be a mess, but it might make for good talking. I don't know. So yeah, the guy I'm playing isn't particularly good, so I just decided to pop into my move list every now and again because what's the worst he's gonna do? Down to me into a kick, then drop the combo? Darkseid is one of the coolest characters ever invented in general, but he's really cool in Injustice. He fights with one hand unless he's doing certain moves. He got Omega Beams all day, even though canonically they miss for some reason. Didn't Batman dodge an Omega Beam before? Fuck that dude. Anyway, he has this cool trait that he calls in his little minions, his parademons and shit. Man, Darkseid is so cool. That's the thing about this game. I think this game has the single greatest roster in any superhero style fighting game. Period. There's so much liked about this roster. I get a lot of people like the Injustice 1 roster because it has more of the Justice League that they know in there, but God, there's so much representation in Injustice 2. You got C tier characters like Cheetah, you got fucking A tier people like I guess everybody who returned from Injustice 1, I guess is A tier. But damn man, we got Swamp Thing. We got Swamp Thing in the fighting game. We got the fucking Turtles in a fighting game. And I'm not talking about one of those fucking pissed bitch costumes you get from Street Fighter 6. Those nightmare feud skin sacks that they want you to play Rashid in. No, I'm talking about genuine turtles. And sure, that kind of work like MKX Triborg, but I mean, yeah, you can canonically say they all study Nujutsu from the same guy, and then they deviate a little bit with their weaponry and some skills. That's fair enough. You can work that in the canon and it's just fine. But I don't know. It's probably just me, man. But we got fucking Hellboy. We got Black Manta. We got the Enchantress. Adam. Fuck, man, this roster is so good. And I think the only reason people wouldn't like it is just because my guy isn't in it. And that's sad. Injustice 2 needs its flowers. Man, fuck this. I don't care what anybody say. I think this is one of the best fighting games ever made. Best fighting game ever made. I don't care if it's NRS. It could have came from Capcom. It could have came from Nintendo. And if it was this good, I would still like it. All right. Injustice 2 is one of the greatest fighting games ever made. Come fight me. Here's my address. I should put it on the screen. Oh my God. Then I hear some people talk about, oh, I don't like Injustice 2 because it's, zoning aside. I don't like Injustice 2 because it's too close to the first game. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? One of the major issues NRS was having at the time was that they keep taking one game and then changing it into something else. MK9 and MKX are, okay, close enough, but they're two completely different games. You don't even get me started on 11. You don't get me started on 1. I mean, it's still a marginal thing. It's like 11 with assists, but it's still different than 11. I mean, I think NRS won't cede to that. I think they're going to nerf everything so it turns to MK11, and that's sad, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But everybody, I heard this as a constant complaint that Injustice 1 plays too close to the first one. And I'm like, yeah, the first one was good. All they had was some balancing issues. And then they added the meter burn roll for everybody as a universal mechanic to get past projectiles. You can meter burn back 3 that have armor, and that can also help you get through assaults and get through projectiles as well. Then you have your character's kit that has 1 or 2 anti-fireball tools. Sure, it might not be invincible sometimes in Cheetah's case, but it's there. So this game was so considerate about every form of playstyle, and I miss this about fighting games, man. Fighting games changed so much between the time Injustice 2 and MK1 came out, and that extends to everything. I mean, Street Fighter 5, whatever, that game got better eventually, but fuck, man, think about it. Think about how different Injustice 1 is. Injustice 1. Think about how different Injustice 2 is compared to something like MK1. are compared to something like Street Fighter 6 compared to Street Fighter 4. It's night and fucking day, man. Street Fighter 4 had its problems, but it was never like this baby game that let you drive a slammer car across the map, and then they nerfed it. Oh my god. Then MK1 could be fantastic, but they're too busy putting shackles on anybody who's not a rushdown character. And then they remove every rushdown character, every zoner or any kind of defensive character in the game. If they're not nerfed, they're removed. And then everybody's shocked when Johnny Cage is the best character in the game when he has no natural enemy. But I digress. We should be talking about Injustice here. And back on that subject, Starfire. I fucking love Starfire, man. I was so excited when they announced her for this game. Yeah, her hair looks kind of shitty. It can be better, but even at the time it could have been better. But I mean, I am so glad Starfire is in this game, man. Yeah, we wanted Beast Boy, and I think they're still making Injustice 3 or something like that. I don't know what the deal is for that, but I super hope we get an Injustice 3. And I hope they learn from Injustice 2, or a little, add a little bit more diversity amongst the cast. I get it. Nobody likes everybody having ninja stars and eye lasers and spells getting flung across 18 yards across the map. Okay. There can be a balance. There could absolutely be a balance. You don't have to dedicate to one side. If casuals don't like zoning, give them strong rushdown characters, and then give those rushdown characters strong tools to get past zoning. But you gotta make the zoning equally as strong, unless you're just making bad characters for the sake of making bad characters. And speaking of bad characters, everybody cried about Starfire. I never understood it. I don't think I really lost to Starfire, and sure, you can say I never played a good one. But during my tenure in Injustice 2, I've played some pretty solid players. Not everybody has to be like a top player to be good. I mean, obviously, it's in the name top player. But everybody, you can still be good at the game. I consider myself really good at the game in my heyday. But everybody cried about Starfire. Then I looked at her and I'm like, I started playing the character and I'm like, what does she do? And maybe I didn't understand. I don't know. She has a pretty solid star build. She has good staggers, in my opinion. Her trait's pretty solid, and she does good damage. But I don't get why everybody freaked out about this character, especially when the Atom slipped under everybody's radar. Hellboy slipped under everybody's radar. Hellboy's flying. He's technically flying in this game. God, it's so hyped to watch, but it's so fucking dumb. He'll jump to the west. And then you do one input and he's all the way over across the other side of the screen doing dumb shit. It's silly. It's nonsense. And I think that character rocked for like the entire lifespan of the game. That character is fucking stupid. And as you can tell, I don't really care about what matches I'm showing. I'm just showing various matches. This guy was pretty good with the Donatello, the coolest turtle, by the way. Fight me on that one too. Donatello's the coolest turtle. But aside from that, this guy was pretty good. The only disappointing thing is it got kind of laggy. He was on Wi-Fi. And why is this netcode better than MK11? Anyway, I don't really care what I'm showing this match. This is kind of just, think of it as if it's a podcast and you're listening to a guy that you don't give a damn about or you're interested in what he's talking about. So yeah, it's just me screaming into the void this episode. And if you listen very closely, all 13 of you who watch this video, you'll hear my voice screaming that Injustice 2 is great. Injustice 2 is great. You're all wrong about the game. Am I coming off a little manic? I feel a little manic. I'm on a level with you people. I had some coffee, so I'm percolating right now. And I thought it would be interesting to record one of these while I'm in this state. That's just why I don't drink a whole lot of coffee, because it feels like my mouth is just running, and I hope I'm not talking too fast. I will have to listen to this again to make sure I'm not talking too fast. But I'm sorry if it comes off like I'm on coke or something. I'm really not. It's just coffee, and I can't hold my coffee that well. I'm like a toddler, okay? Sorry. So depending on the individual, this will be the best episode of The Struggle or one of the worst episodes of The Struggle, with some manic guy talking in the background about all kinds of nonsense while he's playing what some call probably one of the worst games ever made or one of the most mediocre games or something. And it's a bad mix. And I feel like, look, this is my channel, man. This is my channel. Sometimes you're gonna get fighting games you're not gonna like, man. But you gotta embrace all fighting games. Until you embrace all fighting games, okay? Fighting games deserve to be played in general. I don't care if it's a Smash Bros. I don't care if it's a fucking... Alright, well, yeah, maybe it shouldn't be the bouncer or anything like that. If you can find a competitive nature in the bouncer, that's all fine and dandy, peachy keen. But all fighting games should be embraced. All fighting games should follow by their own rules, how they want to do stuff. They shouldn't be like, oh, well, this one has to be Street Fighter, and this one has to be Mortal Kombat, and this one has to be Virtual Fighter, because these are all quote-unquote the best in whatever. Like, it shouldn't be that way. If Mortal Kombat's a little bit weird, then let Mortal Kombat be a little bit weird. It may not be for you, but it doesn't make it bad. Street Fighter is hella weird for me. I don't like every Street Fighter game that comes out. I honestly only like 3 games in the entire fucking franchise, if you don't count spin-offs. I like Street Fighter 4, I like Street Fighter Alpha 2, and you can trade that with 3 if you want. And you can give some credit to Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and those are the only ones I truly vibe with. The rest of them can get fucked for all I care. And don't worry, there's not a bias. I feel the same way towards Mortal Kombat. As massive as a Mortal Kombat fan that I am, I've never played the original games. My first Mortal Kombat game was Mortal Kombat 4, then I moved right on to the 3D era, and then I suffered right along with everybody else with the NRS era. So I needed to really go back and play those original Mortal Kombat games. I heard Mortal Kombat 3 is pretty hard to play, but that'd be interesting. I don't know if anybody'd be interested in that, but I guess I don't care anyway. Man, I'm gonna keep all this in. This will be a super interesting video, the hair back. I don't know. This is as hyper as I've ever been in one of these videos. And maybe I need to drink coffee all the time. Maybe it gives me the energy I need to stop. I don't know, man. I feel weird. It's oh God, this video is so bad. I'm gonna keep all this in for the sake of candidness and seeing what sticks. I am going to keep all this in, unedited, and see how it is. If you guys like it, let me know. If you think it's a little weird, I apologize. If you just hate Injustice 2, then I'm sorry. It's Injustice 2. And I guess we can wrap up the video on me stomping this special needs Darkseid, right? But look, overall, I want to wish everybody a happy and safe Thanksgiving. You can think of this as a nice stuffy episode of The Struggle. It's your Thanksgiving treat, or Thanksgiving. Oh my God, it's your Thanksgiving treat. Oh, I want to thank everybody. 33 subscribers, 1 million subscribers. I don't really care. I appreciate everybody that I get, and that's not some hollow thing. I appreciate my 33 subscribers. It's awesome. I never thought I would make it this far, even though I've only been around for about like 2 months and change. But we don't do it for the money. I generally like doing this. I thought I wouldn't. So yeah, there's that. So I'm super glad I got what I got. I ain't trying to rock the boat. If I got 33 forever, I'm fine with that. I'm just letting it rock. As long as people watching my stuff, I don't really care. I'm doing it for the straight passion of it. A passion that I did not think I had. But, you know, I do wish we will get a bigger community, because I would like to do more community stuff. I have community plans. I just want to build this little nest egg of people that can all just share an enjoyment for fighting games and gaming in general. You don't have to be a super pro at fighting games. Lord knows we don't put up shit that's super pro like or anything like that. And that shouldn't really matter. It just should be people playing fighting games for liking fighting games, especially if you're not particularly excited about what mainstream fighting games are going nowadays. But that's a rant for another time. I think I've talked enough people's ears off. Thank you for watching. Have a safe, happy Thanksgiving with your family. See you next time on The Struggle. Stay safe, everyone. Goodbye. Oh, and like, comment, and subscribe. I have to make more of an effort to say that, I guess. I mean, I guess we have to, I suppose. So like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Well, I'll catch you next time. Jesus Christ.
Listen, Stan, you know, how long does it take you for you to pick out a soda?
I'm gonna take off, actually.
All right, yeah. Well, cool. Psilocybin?
Injustice 2.
You're gonna hate it.